Welcome to Newsweek. So nice to meet you, Madison. Come on, let's take you around and show you the office. People might be surprised to learn that you're Miss America and you're also an active duty Air Force officer. It's a stereotype that has to be challenged, right?
I feel like that stereotype has been challenged for a long time, and I don't feel like by any means I'm the first person to do it, because I think of the first woman that entered the Air Force Academy. Broke barriers is the reason that I even got to attend. The first female fighter pilot, all of the women that got to join combat positions, those people were the ones that broke those barriers. And now that I have the opportunity to be Miss America and Second Lieutenant Marsh, that can be a big deal to show people, not only in the military community, but really everyone, that you can break those barriers. And so I feel like there are a lot of stereotypes as a military woman that I get, and there are plenty of stereotypes about pageant women and what we receive, and that some of the unconventional things, or maybe what society tries to box you as, like, doesn't matter.
Oh, look, a C-130.
Oh, wow.
That is the Brooklyn Bridge. So that's the east side of Manhattan. That's the 9/11 memorial. So there's two of them, and they're actually, it doesn't look as big when you look up here, but that is the exact footprint. So I joined after September 11th. I'm the GWAT generation. But it's different now. Certainly after September 11th for us, it was like a big patriotic pull. And I'm just curious, for a lot of people, they might think, well, we're not at war. Why do people want to join the military?
I think for me, people always ask that question in the media, like, why is the military being funded if we're not at war? Like, just exactly what you said. And for me, the reason why I love this country so much is because of the freedom that it stands for, not only for us, but for our allies abroad. And the way that we win these wars and help these people that we want to help is by being prepared all of the time. And the way that we do that is by getting people to join during times that we're not at war. And so for me right now, I feel every single day that I get to put on the uniform, or that I'm watching other military members on the news or whatever's happening, I feel patriotic. I feel proud of getting to put it on. I feel proud of the other people that sacrifice and go overseas and even stateside, because both are so important to make sure that we have this freedom here and for everyone else. And so, exactly to your point, I think that everyone needs to be joining now, because this is where all of the magic happens.
So we talk about recruiting, and you think about some of the generic ads from way back when, from World War II, or their posters and stuff. Obviously now with social media, you can reach a target audience like that. How do you think that should impact recruiting, and what do you think the military should be doing to leverage social media for recruiting?
I honestly follow a lot of female military influencers, and I think that makes such a big impact. And I know it's really unfortunate, because I feel like sometimes they do get a bad rep, or people, you have the trolls online that are trying to take away from their cause. But for me, especially as a woman in uniform, looking at how accessible it is, and they are breaking down all of the barriers of what people believe the military to be. And so I think in doing it in a way that it is informative and respectful of the uniform is so important, because that allows people from basically all ages to look about what our military looks like today. Not what it was 20 years ago or even longer than that, but what people are doing today in their day-to-day jobs, as much as they can share, obviously, with security. And I think that makes such a big difference, because you can see it right there from your phone, what that looks like, and you can even begin to picture yourself as, wow, that's really interesting. I didn't think the military was like that. Maybe I could see myself joining now. I view social media as very low-cost barrier to entry that we can use, freely accessible to reach anyone in any part of the globe. And so that allows it to be low cost, but you're reaching so many more people than we could ever imagine. So we should never take away from opportunities that would expose that and make it bigger.
Your Air Force, favorite airplane, favorite jet, favorite helicopter?
B-2.
B-2?
Yes.
Seriously? Okay.
I know, and I saw it earlier, and I was like,
it just so happened that I flew in one. I don't know if that's a humble brag, but why the B-2?
The look of it, it's just an insane plane. I think it is so unique, and it's just beautiful. Obviously all of the Air Force aircraft are absolutely beautiful, but that one is so cool. And I also just think the mission, and some of the pictures from the cockpits, all of it's amazing. It's so cool.
I will tell you one thing about the B-2. It smells really bad inside of it, because they're in, they go for 40 hours. So like one of the things when we flew in it, they had black ice air fresheners all over it, and people were like geeking out on that because it's, and I say that out of absolute respect because it's hard to be in that thing for a few hours. Can't imagine being in there for 2 days. You flew in a T-38?
I flew in an F-16 about a month ago.
How was that?
I mean, I threw up a lot, to be honest. All of the pictures, they look super cool, but on the inside of the aircraft, I was dying. But I had a female F-16 pilot, the only female fighter pilot in the whole squadron at Nellis. She was just so awesome, and my favorite part about the experience, obviously getting to fly, was super cool, but the conversation and connection that I had with her afterwards, like kind of what I was saying earlier, the members and the mentors that you get out of this community are like no other. Taking from that, what would you say to the young women today who may want to pursue the Air Force, whether it's enlisted or commissioned? What would you say to them about what their future could look like? I wouldn't have gotten anything without the Air Force. Because I went to the Air Force Academy, I was able to get the astronaut scholarship, Truman Scholarship, go to Harvard on a full ride, become Miss America. All of that is because of the military. Not only because of the training and the leadership, but the type of support that was poured into me at every step of the way. So you have a foundation. It's named after your mom. Obviously, you know, the Air Force is one career. Can you talk about how Miss America has sort of given you a platform to talk about this issue that's really important to you? So when you go to compete in the Miss America opportunity, you actually have something called a service initiative. So everyone that goes to compete has one, which is really beautiful because I think that speaks volumes to what they're looking for, the women that are competing. It's not the conventional pageant. And so I went in, my service initiative was the Whitney Marsh Foundation. And so this whole past year, I got to focus on sharing my mom's story, warning signs for pancreatic cancer so that people are knowledgeable about it so they can have a chance to live, which was a chance that my mom didn't get to have. And then now that I get to be Miss America, they have given me a national voice to share her story. And so that, I mean, it makes me really emotional because now everyone gets to know who Whitney Marsh is, and it's all because of the Miss America opportunity.